Okay, there we go. We should be good. Where are we? Oh, wow. How nice the weather to clear itself up for us. Hey, Xavier. I just realized this thing has a wall. Is that common? I don't think so, is it? I'm thinking this'll do. I don't think so, actually. Yeah. Let's lock it here. Why this ain't Tar Souls? Because unfortunately, my schedule was really tight and it ended up going over 5 hours. Which is absolutely ridiculous, but you know it is what it is. I hate having to keep making delays on this thing for months on end because of stuff like this, but we're doing it tomorrow. I'm absolutely done with all this bullshit. Me, I'm like, oh, don't worry. It'll be tight, but I should be able to make it just in time to set everything up and get it. Nope. 3 hours late. I was like, fuck. I think this is fair. Right? I think this is fair. Yeah, yeah, sheep. Sheep will be sheep. Yeah, because you want it more like this, right, chat? Yeah. It's okay, look, I'm excited for whenever we eventually get a Dark Souls 1 stream. Yeah, I'm excited to do it too, but hopefully that excitement will not have to wait beyond tomorrow. Now, I can only think of the Three Sisters, or at least Elvis's Rise. Gotcha. I found really funny your reaction to TA's video after I summed it up, not gonna lie. Well, what more is there to say? You all know what my thoughts are on TA's content since his first vid. And all I need to do is kind of lay out, if I understand what his case is, then what more is there to say? It's patently absurd. Like, anyone who devotes just a few seconds of brain cells to the concept will realize just how silly it is in the larger context, which, as I've said to you guys before, is so important. Game out your scenario. You have to see if it actually makes sense in the context of the world and story that you're arguing. Now, there can be a lot of flexibility there, but it's got to make some degree of sense in the end. Can't just be whatever. And a lot of really silly theories would actually not survive scrutiny if we actually just gamed the scenario. There we go. I'm not sure if I like this shot, though. How far do these go? God, I don't know why it no longer recognizes my number keys. That really kind of pisses me off. Because I have zero idea why it did this. Again, I just don't get technology. Frickin' magic, man. Can't it just be consistent? If you're a machine, then it should be like a hammer. I put the hammer down, and it puts the nail in. It shouldn't be that complicated. Oh, he's moving, that's why. Alright, chat. Let's see how this works with our friends in the back there. From what I hear, his best stuff was ER content. Okay, so my perspective on TA is that he peaked with his first vid on covering Godfrey and the Roundtable Hold and that stuff. I think that's his best vid. It's concise, it's to the point, it stays very low concept. It's something that's easily accessible to everybody is what I mean by that. And overall, it's accurate. Like, I can't really, like, I more or less agree with the case, and I see even if I didn't agree with the case, I think that there's a good argumentation and analysis there. He doesn't go too far off the point of whatever historical reference he's making. He uses it mostly as a framing device, which is, again, what I've talked about with external sourcing. The problem with external sourcing is not the idea that, oh, you know, this is kind of like this. Sure, that's fine, but it's not very useful to analysis in beyond helping convey a framework of a concept for what you are working within for your own independent analysis. When you start making the external source the analysis, which seems to will happen with a lot of subsequent TA videos, you start going into weird places, because now you're not really looking into trying to understand the story that's being told. You're looking to try to confirm the external source that you have identified within the narrative. And now you're starting to find the connections and try to force them in all sorts of ways, and it doesn't come naturally, right? Like, again, I could say, oh, Gwyn takes inspiration from Thor and Zeus from Norse and Greek mythology. I think most people would agree with that concept based on, like, simple things. They shoot lightning, king of the gods, blah, 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 right? Like, all these sort of, like, basic things that we associate with stuff, and just the general knowledge about mythologies which influence fantasy works, especially someone like Miyazaki, who is rather open about his Western literature, well, his inspirations from Western literature, including Norse and Greek sources. So then it's not far-fetched to make that claim. But you're not going to see me, like, looking into, like, stories about Odin or Zeus and then trying to extrapolate that those exact same events therefore must have occurred with Gwyn. And that's a problem I see a lot when it comes to amateur analysis. And again, that's not a dig at TA, mind you. That's just like, doing From Software analysis is hardly like hard hitting the books, right? Like, it's not an academic discipline to a rigorous degree, right? Like, even my work with AA, like, I don't think it would meet probably some academic standards, because I don't do, like, the typical thing with, like, citations and things of that sort, right? Or try to submit it into some sort of, like, literature, science publication or something, right? I don't go through that process, right? Ultimately, I'm just a guy with an opinion. But that's the type of issue that you often will see, is that because to substitute for actual rigorous analysis of the content using the evidence within the narrative, they try to instead look for evidence outside the narrative with which they could then extrapolate. And that's where I think a lot of people make mistakes. I think you just go too far. This was something that Smotown realized when he read my external sourcing thing, but then when he started seeing it in other people's works. Because once you recognize that, and you start seeing it everywhere, because it's just so common, and it's just very obviously fallacious. Now, does that mean that necessarily if you go do a more proper methodology, you always get the right answer either? No. There's still plenty of other factors and mistakes, but it's more reliable, I think, than what TA's been using up until now. And that's sort of my general opinion. Hello, Anthony Rodrigo Bright. Welcome. I don't know, guys. I'm not liking this angle. Like, I was really, like, enthused about this, but I'm hating it now. Did I see Nicolino in the chat? Am I crazy? Yeah, Nicolino, hey! Sorry, you scrolled down. Watching your Dark Souls roll-through series for your book launch. Very interesting. Well, thanks, Anthony. I'm glad to hear about that. Welcome to the chat. Hope you find it comfy here. Hopefully I'll be continuing the lore play soon. And by that I mean tomorrow. God, it should have been today, but God, I hate it when people set schedules. And again, I know this is gonna sound a bit weird, but like when you set a very specific date and things, and it just I can't even blame the person either, because they had a serious emergency and stuff. But it's just very frustrating, because it ruins my plans. And I have to explain it to all of you, and it sucks. Anyway. His first videos were about the Erdtree and Farm Azula being inspired by Varna, but his debut through Godfrey stuff was the most earnest, not looking to invent a surprise. Oh, was his Godfrey vid not his first stuff? I thought that was his first vid as far as I was aware. The Erdtree is only transparent from the Limgrave Bridge due to a glitch zoom in with it. Oh, okay, you're talking to... Okay, right, you're talking to Anthony. Okay, yeah. Right, the theory says that the only real part of the tree is the part that's physically left over, aka the stump portion with the thorns. Yeah, the problem with the whole idea of, like, the tree is a phantom and stuff is that it's just not true. We see that the quote-unquote phantom trees are, for, like, say, the small trees where we get golden seeds from more normally, are only called that because, well, they look ghostly. But when you hit them, they're solid wood. Like every other solid wood thing you can hit. And the same thing with the Erd tree. Like, you just gotta, like, you know, look a little and you're like, oh, that's solid bark. It just glows gold. Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm hating all this stuff, chat, so I think we gotta look for... The problem is, I've done, like, these close-ups on these guys so many times before. Do we really have nothing more interesting? Like, can we not get, like, a more interesting shot? Are we doomed to get, like, something boring like this? Ugh. I hate it. Seriously, this is just a reference image for something that probably most people will remember, too, as soon as I mention it. And yet here I am. God, I hate it. Alright, let's just look around at the area and get a sense of where things are, because see if there's any other options here. Like, is there any... God, of course it rains as soon as I unpause. Oh, hey, you. Hey, you. Okay, maybe we have potential there, chat. But yeah, the whole phantom tree thing, it only looks see-through in the game because of, like, a visual glitch. Use a telescope, or, like, anything else, or just get, like, a certain degree closer and stuff. And it fixes itself. It's just an unfortunate part of this game deloading stuff. So why is there ash in the capital city, and why is the Erd tree the same color as all the phantoms, aka Godfrey? As far as why it's the same color, you can come up with multiple explanations. It's trying to express its power, it's healing from prior damage, and therefore it has to glow gold, similar to how nubile trees glow gold until they mature into minor Erd trees, which, as we can see, are then solid. Like, there's plenty of explanations you can come up with. As for the ash is clearly because there was a burning at some point. I've generally stated that I believe the burning was done by Vike when he tried to use the frenzied, after coming in contact with the frenzied flame. He tried to use that to burn the Erd tree, and it just didn't quite work. Because of the whole needing to use a giant's flame and stuff like that, and the Destined Death rune and all that. Why is it raining only here? Is that, like, set in stone? Or... But anyway, that's my position on why the ash is in the capital city. Because it's definitely a recent thing. Yeah, exactly. If it's a recent event, it explains why it's still, like, there. I can understand not cleaning up the giant dragon, you know? That's a bit difficult for probably the capital to move out, right? So, like, okay, yeah, they'll just keep it there as, like, a fancy landmark. Fuck those people's houses. But the ash is something where you're like, someone could have swept that up by now, if it was, like, you know, from, like, before Godfrey left. Get a shot of the Balloon Boys? I already have plenty of shots of those, Anthony. Like, they're a dime a dozen. The problem right now is trying to get good shots for this. I'll be honest, I might come back and do these guys later and just focus on this here instead. I'm just not feeling it. Ooh, what if while they're walking away instead? Okay, maybe this, chat. Maybe this is the secret sauce. Instead of it when they're walking down, instead of when they're walking up. That's better, I think, than what we had before. go. Ooh. No, that's not. That's normal. Okay. I was thinking maybe there was a design up there that I hadn't seen before, but no, it's the typical stuff. Alright, I'm gonna do something a little weird. Yep. Weird. Maybe the leaves telling the story? Well, yeah, the leaves... I'm not sure if that's a joke or not, Xavier, but the leaves are there to basically tell us, oh yeah, the Erd Tree is dying. That's also the point of the Erd Tree avatars, the tree spirits. Like, there's plenty of examples showing that, yeah, the Erd Tree is definitely damaged, but that doesn't make the golden glowing aspect, like, proof that there's no Erd Tree, it's just some ethereal phantom illusion. And in the case of TA's argument specifically, I remember him citing stuff like the Finger Maiden mentioning something about how, like, oh, do you see it or whatever. Like she's asking a question, and he interprets that as, oh, she's trying to point out, she's trying to confirm whether or not you can see it because it's not actually seen by most people. It's like, no, everyone can see it. She's just confirming to do so. That's a very normal convention, especially in Japanese, to kind of use, especially with Daro, to kind of confirm, like, okay, hey, I see that thing, do you see that thing? Okay, we're both, like, on the same page here, right? Like, it's not that uncommon in English, either. So, again, this, you see, I've seen similar mistakes made when analyzing Bloodborne and stuff. I recall I think it was Redgrave who had that theory about what was it called? The whole idea that the, Brador knew the player character because of some of his dialogue, and it's like, no, Redgrave, you should know this. That's totally absurd. Like, it's obviously not that. Alas, it is what it is. Oh, the base Elden Lord ending's the only ending with falling leaves. Ah, I see, so the falling leaves keep falling in that ending is what you're talking about. Dark Souls, you know how Ulaseel's Royal Wood has those orange-colored flowers, yeah? So I think that some cut orange flowers in DS2 Shaded Woods are the same from the Royal Wood. Oh, if so, that's really cool. If you could get a screenshot direct comparison, that'd be neat to have on file. I'd be sure to include that in my... I think it's in my Haida analysis, right? Maybe not. But yeah, I'll be happy to include that, Nobre, if it's true. That's cool data to kind of confirm that if it's like... Again, also the flowers have to be unique to the Royal Wood / Darkroot Garden or whatever. I also want to make sure that we're, like, being honest, and it's not like, okay, those are common flowers used in various places. Yeah, it's another thing. If the Erd Tree incantation and grace couldn't be seen by most people, every holy hour would be 100% stealthy to the Lyrians. But it's not, and the Two Fingers Confessors even have to use special incantations like Darkness and Assassin's Approach. I don't know about that. I think you can make a case that the holy magic emanating and stuff separate from the tree might still be visible. But yeah, it starts becoming a bit weird when you're trying to think about it. Okay, so the tree's not visible to most people if you're not, like, meet certain criteria, but you can use holy magic and stuff, which is, but it's somehow, you know, quote-unquote, you know, like, separate from the tree, right? Like, it starts getting very dicey when you start, like, trying to, again, it's, like I say, when you game the scenario, it starts being like, I don't know if this makes sense. Don't know if that works quite the way you think it does. Okay, yeah, we want to go here then. Because we got most of the other stuff we wanted on the mountaintops. I want closer ups of the... Yeah, for Haida? Okay, good. Yeah, so if you can, like, just confirm 100% that the Darkroot Garden stuff in Dark Souls 1, those orange flowers from Royal Wood, are only in Royal Wood / Darkroot Garden. Again, if it's in, like, I don't know, Darkroot Basin or something, that's fine too, obviously. But, like, I just want to make sure we have a complete data set so it's not misinformation that I'm spreading. Honestly, no, Bray. I'd hate to say it, but you're making me consider DS2, and that's never a good thing when you're making me consider playing DS2 again. Granted, I need to probably get shots for Ilium Lois anyway, so it might be a good idea to start planning that again. Get the scheduling all done. I remember Quaylag mentioning the design stuff, so it's probably good if I get close-ups of that in case it ever comes up or we see it elsewhere. It's also a time thing. I believe the Shattering happened centuries before the Tarnished are called back, right? That I won't. That I can't like say yes or no to because I honestly don't know. I don't know what the time scale is for the Shattering. My understanding is that would be like my initial impression would be that's only been like a few years at most. I don't think it's been that long. But I honestly couldn't tell you. I haven't looked deeply into it at all. It could be. Like, I wouldn't, like, if someone, like, if that turned out to be the case, like, I wouldn't be like, oh, wow, that's crazy, that doesn't sound right. Like, sure, yeah, well, I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. Yeah, we have to move things around so we can get a good look at the design, so. Let's do this. But yeah, there has been a decent amount of time that's passed between the events of the Shattering, the, up until the Tarnished arriving and then getting driven out by Morgott, and of course, obviously, into the current time that we're in. He said it was 5,000 years before the game, but he could have easily been cracking a joke in the interview. It's also unclear when he says 5,000 years what he's referring to exactly. He could be referring to like all the events of the of his golden lineage stuff. So he could be talking about like say the beginning with Godfrey up until the current period or whatever, right? Because if I remember right in the interview, he was talking about a lot of stuff, and like again, there's always I would not take Martin's comment during the frickin' what was it, Stephen Colbert or whatever that seriously. I can't hear the Shattering without thinking of the song Sickening by Meshuggah. Is that so, Payester? What do we think? Yeah, this'll do. Yes, Loki, I've given you plenty of research material. Yeah, you give me lots of stuff for DS2 to look at and reconfirm and stuff. But yeah, Ilium Lois is the big focus for DS2. It's been a year. I've had my chance to like, you know, get over my last bout with DS2. So it's about time that I take a look again and make sure that we get Ilium Lois done and done proper. And then once that major topic's done, the smaller stuff like, say, like a bunch of the invaders and things should be easy to crank out. Again, taking lots of reference shots for this because we want to be absolutely sure that about what designs are being used, how they're being used, if those designs being reused are significant, right? Like there's a variety of factors for us to put into this. I don't know if it looked exactly like that. But the growth of the Death Prince would take a while, I imagine. That I don't know, because it seems very random where Godwyn sort of grows and the raid and stuff like that. So it's like, did he? I don't know. The best part is, I can't tell if that's supposed to be a dragon or, like, some weird cow face. Like, I legit can't tell. Like, I would assume dragon just based on, like, the serpentine neck. But it's definitely the weirdest-ass dragon face I've ever seen. Like, look at those teeth. It's like, what is this? Disney? Looney Tunes? fascinating. The context of all the stuff GRM made in the backstory for Elden Ring before the game starts. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, like, yeah, it's definitely something where it's like, okay, he could be literally referring to anything as the beginning point for that 5,000 year talking point. And if it was like, oh, okay, everything from, like, the Elden Ring touching down, or the Golden Lineage with Godfrey getting started, sure. I could believe, like, all that took place over, like, 5,000 years or so, depending on, like, the time scale of characters. That's not insane to me. But I don't think I'm not sure when I hear the shattering, I'm like, I'm not sure if he's talking about that. It's the same one over here, right? This is all the Giants making a racist picture of dragons. They saw the dragons after kicking the dragons off the mount. They were like, here's your fire that you breathe. We can make it better. Frickin' drakes. Petition to make drakes a slur for dragons. Therefore, we can get the Dark Souls 1 localization fixed with the name, so they're all called wyverns again. It's an odd dragon, unlike all the FA dragons. Might be some sea serpent. I don't know about that. I don't know about sea serpent. Again, I would not be like, oh, it's an abstract draconic form. Maybe it's supposed to be a sea serpent. Again, like, we can think bigger than that. We're not so narrow-minded here. Sure, why not? Wait, this is the account where I should have had all my grace points. Whoopsie daisy. I forget which tower was this one. This is not the silver tower, right? I haven't even unlocked this thing yet. Oh my god. Chat, what am I doing? What am I doing with this barbarian man? He's so stupid. There we go. Heretical Rise, okay. Oh no, heresy. Whatever shall I do? I think Nate mentioned it's been a long time since he saw someone with 2 great runes. Yeah, but the problem is that when you use, like, Zuto or similar terms, it's a very vague and broad term. Long could be a few months. Long could be years. Long could be hundreds, thousands of years. Like, it's completely vague and contextual. So unless we get a more solid number to compare to, like, say, in Dark Souls with, like, say, Quelana or Frank using, like, say, you know, 1,000 years, 100 years, etc. It's not really a useful metric of, oh, well, that sounds like it could be a long time. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Depends on what you define as a long time. I think sufficient slur for dragons would be lizard. No, but then we'd be insulting Iam. And I already have plenty of ways to insult Iam, that filthy stinking lizard. Why would I need to conflate him with those filthy stinking drakes? Yeah, we don't need anything here. Okay, so we're good here. And there's nothing ruin-wise here, so let's look at the basic ruins of this area. The Deathbite could have grown quickly. We already see it propelling out of his body seconds after his death. That's true. The trailer does show it beginning, but I think the idea that Anthony's putting forth is that it could have. The assumption would be that it would take a while for it to grow, not from Godwyn, but through the Erdtree root network. Which again, maybe. But I think it's also possible it could grow quickly based on what, like you say, what we see. So. Again, just want to confirm we have everything on record here. Yeah, this would have to be... Actually, no. Would Karian Study Hall be a better example? I am so disappointed that the actual internals of these don't load in properly with this. I know why they don't, and it makes sense that they don't. I'm just disappointed. It would make my job so much easier, because I have to ask other people to get me shots for that now. Yeah, I don't see anything notably different looking at the LOD model, so... I think this should be fine. Except this doesn't load in detail. You know what that means, chat? Time to go to Sorcerer Man. These giants could possibly wade through the ocean to reach the mountaintops from Caelid. Maybe they did literally bump into something weird out there. Yeah, and maybe Gwyn rode on a pink unicorn in order to get to the kiln. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be possible. Sure. Actually, no. No, I don't think that would load in even if we wanted to. Might as well try. Just so we have a comparison shot in case my idea doesn't work. Alright. Let's see if my dumbass idea works or not. Let's ignore the giant burning tree in the background. Nope, it's still the low poly model. So I think we have to go there physically, but I think it's going to be blocked. Let's go here then. I guess we could get this design too. Wait, that... Yeah, that took the shot proper. That was a little weird, though. Honestly, this might be my favorite, variation of these shots that we've taken in the past. I think I really like the lighting up here. Can't play it... Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. May as well. Also, does anyone actually have a have there been any like actual theories about why we have so much ash and burning corpses and stuff in this game? I'm actually curious if anyone's actually dived deep into that. I recall someone at least looking into the idea of spirit ashes a while back, but I'm not sure if anything more came of that avenue of thought. Aya Loki came back to say that indeed, those orange flowers are only in the royal wood, although I did find a few flowers like them, but they were a faded pinkish red in Darkroot, other flowers white. So Darkroot Garden doesn't have anything like them, they're just exclusively in royal wood. Okay, good to know. And you're saying that you found, can you then confirm in DS2 that those exact flowers, or at the very least something incredibly close to them, is in Shaded Woods? So that'd be the last thing we'd want to do. But thank you so much, Nobra. I really appreciate you going to the trouble to check that. How'd you identify it, by the way? Did you check the actual asset for those flowers or something in the files, or...? Some people speculate the Frenzied Flame and Kale used to be more important to the plot in earlier drafts. Yeah, I could see that. I could see the idea that it was a bigger, it was a bigger deal early on, then got relegated to being more of a background, like, side plot thing as the development of the game continued, and eventually they kind of like, well, we have the burnt models, might as well use them. Yeah, I could see that, sure. I'm just curious though if anyone has any idea, like, for the final game, if they have anything like, why is it that we have characters who, again, I think the idea is Latenna is the only one who voluntarily turned herself to ashes. Like, why is it that when she quote unquote dies, she becomes ashes with her spirit thing? Is that part of her spirit living on? Is there something else going on? Why is it ashes specifically with the whole fire thing? Like, there's a lot there. I think we got all the important stuff here though, right, chat? I'm not missing anything important with this tower. I'm gonna go downstairs in case you guys have any ideas. Oh, no, I get the floor tile while I'm here. Pretty sure we've seen this stuff here before. It's funny too, because they actually made sure to keep the inside there because you could look back down and see it. But the outside, which you couldn't see from looking over the edge, doesn't. Like, it's amazing how developers get around that stuff. Oh god, the frame rate. Higher LOD! Ash might just be so they're easier to carry around. Yeah, but seeing it more like on a deeper cosmological level, like why the ash? Like why is it ash? Why couldn't it be, I don't know, spirit wisps? Right. What do you think of the black goop floating upwards is? Oh, let's see, Victor Gaming. Is it floating upwards? It seems to be just falling downwards. I figured it was just more dust and stuff. Though I guess the dust would be more so like stuff like the whiter stuff, right? Where does it start and where does it end? It comes from the same source as the other stuff flowing downward. Also, look at that, more meteors. It doesn't leave any residue or corruption, and it looks very wispy and dusty the closer you look at it. I mean, this isn't just a weird shadow for a dust animation, is it? That'd be super weird that they'd never fix that, but I guess it's possible. I don't know. Not sure if I like that explanation. Miyazaki obsessed with that damn fire and ash. That's the real answer, Peddler. That's the true. That's the A+ answer. Nah, I don't like that. way too solid to be inky and dusty. You think so? Yeah, it's true. At least from far away, it definitely looks more like gloopy. It looks like the material for Renala's Phase 2 cutscene and the Elden Beast cutscene. Ooh, when we, if we ever go and fight at Renala again on one of my alt accounts, we're gonna have to take some screenshots during that cutscene then. I guess I could always take screenshots of someone's YouTube video of it, dude. But I prefer to get in-game myself. Yeah, the problem is, it's treated like this misty shadow stuff that doesn't really do anything but fall. Now, granted, maybe the idea is because they didn't want to animate, you know, it, like, dripping or something like rain, because that'd be difficult. And it's supposed to just, like, you know, kind of, like, just, like, fall through and keep falling down until it disappears into the endless void below. Light and... I wonder if it has anything to do, with the darkness of deep space and the primeval current. Like these, because of all the fragments of, like, glintstone / meteorite and power and stuff like that. I have to wonder if maybe there's this idea of, like, this light and dark aspect. So you have, like, the light aspect of this, star life, and then you have this, like, dark, shadowy void excretion that's also present there, and both of them are kind of secreting out and falling down from these things and stuff. Because this doesn't go... Oh. Oh. Well... You know what? Or maybe it really is just a mistake on the shadowing for a dust texture. You know, maybe the dev's just making a mistake and not fixing it, or more likely than we think. I feel like there are animations unique to the towers. Nothing else leaves an effect like it, to my knowledge. There's, like, black and silver. Maybe something to do with the Mercury / Death Rune. I don't know about the Death Rune, because this is not just in this tower, Victor Gaming. It's also in the other ones. I think it represents almost a dual neutral aspect of the cosmic outer gods, with the whitest starlight and the blackest space. Yeah, I was thinking something similar. Like, it's supposed to represent, like, a, kind of like a yin-yang type of, like, excretion. But I don't know why it would be taken out, unless this was the purpose of the towers originally, was to, like, channel and, segregate these out, and, like, these would, like, go into, like, some storage down below that you'd somehow access, maybe. The tower stones glow white, too. That is true. It is similar to the actual... Tower stones, right? And they are a... Yeah, they're definitely a white. Oh, is that supposed to be text? For this one? I guess it is supposed to be some kind of script. So while I was modding Shaded Woods to include more stuff, I found those flowers below the entrance to the map, and I decided to use them in a memorial for Artorias there, and today when I was replaying Ulasil DLC on New Game Plus 5, I noticed the same flowers littering the Royal Wood. I just need to check if they're literally the same or not. Cool. Good to know. So yeah, just, if you can, check, confirm the models, confirm, like, how similar they are, if they're the exact same, like, whatever the details are. So, like, and just put that and drop that missing data, and I'll do with it whatever I feel necessary. Thanks so much, Nobre. Alright, so I think that's done. Alright, so we got the converted tower. We got good old Forge. We got... Yeah, we don't need that. Anything else I'd really like to grab? I'm trying to think. Yeah, let's double check Far Missoula, because there's so much stuff there. It could be there's a design like this somewhere else. Night Scout, if I recall correctly, didn't you say you wanted me to get another shot of that design in the elevator shaft you asked me to look at last time, or was that something else? Oh wait, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, it's always the same here. Let's get a shot of this since we're so familiar with it already. No, I don't like all the cobwebs. I'll take the corpse instead. I don't care about that. Wait, aren't these the graves you find in Bestial Sanctum? Oh, wow. So that's how it works. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, let's get a shot of these here. I didn't even think about that. You're important enough to get shots of. I'm pretty sure I have a good enough shot of this outside, but just in case. You never know, Chet. Man, they really love Queenie. Alright, we need to find a name for Placky's god. How about we call her Karima? For no particular reason, I just feel like that might be a really good name. Oh, look, did you check if the plants in the lady statue's hair looked like lovewort? No, let's do that today while we're here. It's on the walls to the right across the circular pit in the room. In the room with Malekith, right? Yeah, Malekith's boss room, okay. So I get the spears there in case that's relevant for the ancient dragon lore or something. Could just be part of the burial practice. Let's get you two while we're here. I wonder if we can get better shots of this in Altus with what's-her-face. Or if I just need a better angle with more lighting in FA to get the shots I want. Again, I don't remember if I have shots of this or not, so I might. Call her Divorcia! Divorcia! Placky, this just isn't working out. I'm leaving you. Oh, okay, honey. Call me back when you're on your way home. And she just goes, ah, this is exactly why I'm leaving you. Placky's waiting for her to come home with the milk. Get the dragon aggroed for the lightning hair, Loki. Oh, okay, sure. Sure, let's have the dragon hate me. When has that ever been a bad idea? Let's turn off ×5 speed. I don't think we need it. Hello, game. That's not gonna work. God, I hate it. Wow, it really does flow out straight from the hair, huh? Man, I don't like it. Thanks, I hate it. Sir, I think that might be through your thigh. I wanted that one! Why could it be that one? Why are we stuck with this one? Why is it always the ones that go through his butt? Why? I hate it, chat. I hate it. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're in business. It's kind of scuffed, but we're in business. There we go. The Dragon's unique lightning sword move too when he's close to half health. Dude takes a fight with a pose. That's fine. I'm happy with this. Ow. Oh no. Okay, can you like do it again? Alright, maybe a little too much fire for my taste. You know? I do hate how the lightning only looks really good when you're at the worst possible angle with his face. Honestly, the problem is not actually that, it's the tornado. The tornado is the issue. It causes all the blurring. Listen, I'm not gonna be here all day, Mr. Dragon, so do it. Alright, that's all. We're out of here. Oh, whoops. I was trying to summon my horse! The big brain theory for Placky's God is that it's just America again, and Placky was Renal 1.0. Yeah, I have heard of the America theory. Again, I'm skeptical of that one for various reasons. Again, chief of which is that Placky's God seems to be dead, but I do find that very funny, just the idea that that America went through so many instances of basically throwing out her husband to find a new one. I didn't like this. Let's go here. I think we have shots of this flower, but just in case. Quote-unquote flower, I say. I like this better. Dragon only starts with the lightning glaive, if I recall correctly, so if you run out, he'll try it again, I believe. Well, too late. I'm done with him. I just don't want to spend another hour on this. Again, we're mostly here to look at the designs for the purpose of the Ancient Civ and stuff, so we can have all that on file. Oh, wait. I completely forgot. Stealth. Whatever will I do, chat? I love these half-petrified trees. Yeah, they are really cool. You know, again, for all the complaints that I myself also have about some of the asset reuse in this game, the new assets they have are really great. So at least there's that. Oh my. Damn. I think this is good enough. There we go. Elden Ring sure ain't perfect, but I love it to bits. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of developers think that your game has to be immaculate, it has to be this thing, that fans aren't going to accept it. We're willing to deal with a lot of buggy messes. Just look at Elder Scrolls games. Although it's starting to catch up to Bethesda, because the key thing, again, this is actually a good example, that separates From Software from Bethesda, is that ultimately, these games are still made well despite all of their problems. They have a truly fun, inspired, and constantly evolving artistry that goes into them. And you can feel a lot of that passion. For both the great and terrible things about these games. You don't need to have every little thing perfect. More gravel snow. Who would have fun? So this is a good chance to get you, huh, buddy? We've talked about you before, but it's about time we got a good shot of you, isn't it? God, I really did miss a lot of items, huh? When I get back to the Let's Play one day, it's gonna be really weird. God, I was kind of hoping that'd be a little higher quality if I gave it a chance. Oh, I forget, chat. No, it's different. Yeah, okay, it's different. I hate these giant beastmen skelly boys. I just can't stagger them at all. Stagger? What's stagger? Just use sorcery, mate. Just common azure them. Are you kidding me? They put the queen... They used the other queen image from Bloodborne here. I can't remember if that's the same king image, though. It looks like it is. Without the staff, though. You have got to be flipping kidding me. It's funnier too, because you know that because I know that the queen images and stuff, I can't remember if it's the king images too, but at least the queen images were also used like for like the stand-ins for Irithyll assets that we saw in, what's it called? The Dragheat model that was used, and I think some of the older LOD models and stuff. So I just find it so funny that they're reusing it here, but it might have actually had a lore purpose in this game. Yeah, I like this better. Let's just get Mr. Warrior out of the shot. Yeah, got the shots. The swirling plants on these green gates remind me of the Banished Knights and Tree Sentinel armor a bit. I mean, it's a very generic thing that happens in a lot of... I don't know if it's strictly Gothic, but definitely a lot of, like, this type of architecture. If I recall correctly, someone actually went through and showed that a lot of Farum Azula is just reusing real-life assets. Like, it's just literally copy-pasted. So, I'm not surprised if there's some resemblance, but... You know, it wouldn't hurt to check to see if there may be something more identical to them, and then we could be like, oh, maybe there's, like, reinforces the cultural link there. Oh. Thank God that didn't kill me. Lord, forgive this terrible sinner, for he continues to fall down frickin' holes like a moron. Yeah, okay. I was like, okay, I've been here before. I don't remember being here before, but I've been here before. Man, but I have never explored this section of it, have I? I hope there's nothing really important there, lore-wise, that I should do on the Let's Play. So now I'm kind of curious how the hell you're supposed to get there. So it's not this way, not that way. You drop down from the second floor, maybe? Too high now. No, it just takes you this way. Whatever, it's not important. I can do that during the Let's Play, like a moron, running around with my head cut off like a chicken. Yeah, it looks like this is supposed to be some sort of animal head, but they didn't bother using more than, like, you know, a not LOD model for it. Also, to be fair, I am kind of far, so... I can tell you the item if you'd like to know. Is it, what would I, is it like a Beastman Spirit Ash or something like that? Actually, do I have one of those? I already have that. Because that's the only thing I could think of from a grave area that you could grab. Could also be like a weapon or something, I guess. Or maybe some like grave ward or something like that for burial, like something of that nature. We got shots of you. We're done with you. Let's go up here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any overlap here with the Ancient Civ stuff so far. So it looks like they kept those assets distinct at least. Which again, might lend credence if we want to assume the Ancient Civ is responsible for the Divine Towers. Oh. Pretty sure it's Beastman Spirit Ashes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Because they're reusing, like, the cow skeleton models, I assume, in... Those are cows, right? Or were they horses? I can't remember. But they're reusing those models for the Beastman burials and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if Beastman's ashes were there to help kind of convey that intention. Man, sucks to be that guy, huh? Talk about disturbing your rest. Asshole. Trying to ambush me. I'd love it you could just kick the bones down before they revive, right? That'd be so funny. This is where we get the... Oh! It wouldn't be a Loki stream if I didn't fall to my death in hilarious fashion. That sucks to be you, doesn't it? Listen. Listen, chat. We can't always have nice things. Sometimes, you gotta be a team player. And just accept that we can't all have nice things. Like fully loading rocks. Yeah, we have plenty of trees of this, actually. Let's try to showcase the contrast. Okay, good. Alright, my sorcerer should be hidden behind that pillar. Oh no, he wasn't even there to be in the shot. Cool. Oh, are these fully petrified trees? At least their leaves have grayed out. I don't know about fully petrified. They still look... No, actually... Maybe they have. It's a bit harder to tell because they're so thin. The Four Belfries work is a great distance shot of FA as a whole. That shot is a section of the building unloaded. Is that so? God, I find that so funny. Alright, I think we got most of the design stuff, so let's go here. By the way, the spear models are just the ones the Skeleton Militia use. Good to know. I might not have noticed that for a while. Listen, listen. I'm stupid. I don't know how to climb stairs, okay? I live in a 1-floor building. Stairs don't exist in my vernacular. just want to highlight the underground nature of the temple versus above ground Farum Azula, right? So like, we'd have like stuff like this that might have been above ground, right? From all indications, this curved ringed wall type thing, which is partly used for burial. But then of course we have this major temple complex that exists underground, and then we have this above ground temple here. Some more above ground structures that connect to the underground structures, right? So like, there's a lot basically. Oh look, do you have a picture of the top of the isolated tower with some of it damaged? No, I'm not sure if I was even aware of that. At least I don't remember being aware of that. But hey, I don't remember being aware of a lot of things. Alright, Night Scout, where's the design you saw? Was it around here somewhere? Let's see if we can get it with some lighting on it. Miyazaki! Can you stop making things that only people with free cam will notice? Alright, a real good close-up of this. Feel free to compare it to Glovewort now. Hey guys, look! I think we found our dragons! See? Just give them teeth! Much lower, it's visible at standing height? Okay, so... around here, you think? More flowers... Basically, if you walk to the center of the room, then walk to the right to the pit. Okay, let's see. Then we take some paces this way. Ah, I see. Here. Yeah, it's not... Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's basically here. Gotcha. We've seen this elsewhere in the area, so... Probably better lighting, though, here. You know what? Looking at this closely, this looks like a dog that's trying to, like, either bite its own tail, like an Ouroboros, or, like, lick itself or some bizarre, you know... I don't know, maybe tail makes more sense based on how they have it here. And these are birds. Yeah, what is with these birds biting their own tail? You dumbass! You're not a snake. Stop being snakes. Alright, is that enough, They look like a seal, you think? I'm pretty sure I remember seeing these exact same designs there, though, in the shaft. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I could have swore I've seen that exact same form. All things evolved to Snake, Loki. I guess so. Everything evolved from Snake. Technically, if we go by Dark Souls logic, everything's a Snake. Yeah, see, we have this exact same thing here. With the birds and everything. So yeah, it's nothing new here. I was about to be like, is it on the floor? No. Stop eating your tails, you morons. It's not healthy. Head seemed to vary little in some of yours, with a few having eerily no features. Honestly, making out features in this is a lot harder than it looks, just because of like how low detail it is. It's obviously not something you're supposed to look at that closely. But yeah, I want to cross-reference that with I can't remember where it is, but with that source on like all the reused assets in Farm Azula, because it could be these are just actual real-life assets that are being used, and we really aren't supposed to look that closely. Which, to be fair, that's probably true for like 90% of the designs that FromSoft uses. But just good to like double-check these to see if these specifically are among those assets that were just literally ripped from real life, copy-pasted. Actual Control V, Control Z. Oh no, Control C, Control V, right? Gosh, I don't even know my button commands and I use them all the time. Hello, Deathroot. Better lane for the shots at least? Very true. At least we got that. Let's do this too, because it's... I don't remember if I ever got shots for the flowers here. If so, let's correct that. We have, I know I have them for Storm Hill and stuff, but I think we should make sure we get them for here, for obvious reasons. Maybe I should make a Twitter thread about the connection between the Stormhawks and FA. Alright, that's good. Okay, we have gotten so many shots in Farm Azula, I think that's it for now. Like, I think I got all the stuff I really wanted to grab. A lot of this are just like just copy pasting a lot of the assets. Man, the chest thing here. These are more beast-like compared to the scrawny human-looking ones we saw in FA. I'll have to look back at the screenshots to see. Alright, I think that covers it though, right? Like... Probably should have taken that from this angle from the start, if we're being honest, but, you know, it is what it is. Just in case. Yes, I'm so proud of the significant flower lore I saw. As you should, Xavier. It's a really good spy. I've been so used to other Souls games and FromSoft stuff that it's nice to see a little bit more thought being put into this sort of thing. angle's not working. The fancier area connected to the Dragon Temple and the bridge to the temple reminds me a little of the area near and below America's Bedchamber to Lanedell. Yeah, there is a similar concept going there, though the opposite direction, right? Like, instead of one curving over to America's chamber, this one curves over to the chamber to Placky's God. I wonder if that is intentional. I wonder if that's supposed to be, like, intentionally provocative of that, to kind of show how the two gods mirror each other, right? To kind of help convey. Who knows? Could be coincidence, I suppose, but interesting thought, Night Scout. Oh. Yeah, no, we've already been here. Well, that didn't work. I'm really surprised we managed to find grass lore in this game. Yeah, honestly, the grass lore is another crazy one. Though, strangely enough, I'm actually not as surprised about the grass lore as the flower lore. The flower lore really throws me for a loop. We got shots of this, we got shots of that. Yeah, I think we have enough for designs, chat. I think for the time being, we're good on that stuff. There we go. Much better angle. Alright. I think we're done here. Yeah, enough pictures of random objects. So, okay, is there anything else that I really want to grab now? Both bridges right to the God Shrine Chamber are curved too, with maybe a Noble's Quarter at their feet. True. This could be for Nobles, though I think this might have just been a general city. Again, we don't have too much insight into the hierarchy in Far Missoula, so we don't know if they had distinct elite class. I'm sure there was some sort of, like, elite caste of there, but it might have been the priests rather than, say, a nobility. Stay hydrated, chat. Alright, speaking of hydration, I think we're done here. Oh, you know what? Let's get shots of the river water thing here. Isolate Divine Tower? Yeah, we'll do that too. Let's grab that so I can look at the damage bits. No, I don't see anything notable here. Probably want to kill the... Pretty sure I have close-ups of these guys already, but I want to get one of, like, their clothing, quote-unquote. Right, we can go up here. I think that's the same model on the ears, right? So I think, barring a lot of recontextualization, it might be just fair to assume that these were originally human. Let's go this way. Alright, so how would this look? It curves inward. Yeah, they just couldn't be bothered to model and animate like water and stuff falling down because it's not really visible from any angles. Like, look at this shit, chat. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Honestly, if the big guy is dead, we should kill the other ones. Ah, no, that shininess, I think, ruins it. I think this is the best way to get the shot. There we go. You found the FA Water Mobius strip. Yeah. They seem like they dress more like the Beastmen, aside from the parts that are just mummification wrappings. Yeah, again, I agree. They definitely have a more, like, FA tribalistic, look to them. Which is why I believe these are supposed to be citizens of FA. But I'm willing to be like, okay, let's just assume for the sake of simplicity, again, to make the least number of assumptions here, that they are supposed to be humans, like the other ones back at, Altus, right? Because that could still work. Based on, like, you know, the Banished Knights that are here and various other... Like, the idea that humans are at Far Missoula and could be afflicted by the Death Blight growing in the area is totally a possibility. But yeah, I think it's also possible they could be Beastmen and they just didn't change the models beyond the clothing. Similar to how they didn't, like, you know, seriously change the weapons that the skeletons use. They kept them as the same default weapons that all the other skeleton enemies use, right? Like, I'm not going to hold that against the developers. But I'm just willing to be like, okay, you know what, let's assume you're right, and this is just a human. Again, with the potential arguer that I'd be discussing this with. Right, because you see such similar stuff on, like, their dogs and the other things, like, with the Beastmen, Warriors, like, it feels very consistent. Alright, so that covers that. Let's now do our favorite little tower, which I think we access from here, right? If the Banished Knights were living in FA, the human garb of FA seems like it'd be more akin to what Edgar and the snowy BKs wear. Does Edgar wear the fur-covered stuff? I actually didn't recall that. That'd be cool if he does. Kind of showcase him as high status. I don't think we see any of them do that, though, right? Because we do see them just wearing, like, their armor, but they wear the headgear. But then again, so do the ones in Stormville. Stormvale, I should say. Stormville, lol. Gosh, my brain. Too late. Ah, you're right. There's damage here. Fascinating. See, I've never been up here, so what would I know? That's cool. That's mighty neat. Oh, you know what? Because it's, of course, because it's the pieces closest to where Far Missoula would be. Oh my god, that is so cool. Okay. Okay, let's... That's a good angle, chat. This, right? Wait, this isn't Dark Souls. It isn't I am. I know. Funnily enough, the robe torso and hood helmet are the defaults for the BK gear in the game. While in the matter of FA and its meteorite collision, Malekith's stone attacks do partial magic, not holy damage. Ooh! That is cool to know. Does that work for the actual stone incantations you can use? So maybe the residue for the meteorite impact is, if not natural to the stonework. The problem I have with that, though, Night Scout, is that we have so many examples of, like, magical light and stuff infused into the Farum Azula ruins. And it looks like it might be, like, a magical enchantment that's natural to it. So it might be difficult to say, oh, that wasn't intentional. It's like, maybe, maybe not. It might be that, like, magic is, like, you know, in the rocks is actually, like, a thing. For at least, like, some of them. And, you know, when you're in the beast, when you're in the temple, definitely. But then again, actually, no, he also does it in, like, this is another temple, right? Like, yeah, this is another temple, so therefore it could be, like, same thing here. Yeah, the actual incantations are just physical. Yeah, I'd have to ruminate on that a bit. I'd have to think on that. Because I could see a number of different scenarios, and I want to, like, go through and try to figure out which one I think is the most likely. So what's on the agenda today? Oh, we've gotten most of the stuff on the agenda done today. It's mostly been, like, getting designs from Farum Azula, getting the converted towers done. This is probably the best we're going to get of some of this orange material and stuff, so... You know, I really like TA's idea about this being the result of, like, some meteoric impact and stuff. The problem is, I hate to say it, I don't think it's accurate. Because if that was the intention, you'd think the developers would want to have all the rock face stuff be facing inward to where the impact zone would be, right? Because it would all, like, you know, surge outward and vaguely, you know, splash that, like, molten rock and stuff onto the towers from the impact point. But instead, it looks like it's just random, so it's making me think it's more like a carving of some sort. Maybe using some of that meteoric rock from the impact. But not but not necessarily its residue covering it per se. Like, this is supposed to be like, oh, this is the stuff that wasn't carved into something proper or whatever. The magic damage counts for Grok in the Bestial Sanctum too. Yeah, so that's what I would assume. The question is whether the temple would be constructed with incantation holy energy instead of pure magic. For the purpose of game mechanics, they might not get too finicky about that. Especially considering they wouldn't want every boss, especially going into endgame, to be using the holy magic, right? Because they're already doing that with Radagon and the Elden Beast for obvious reasons, right? So they might have been like, you know what, for Malekith, let's make sure he does, like, just regular magic stuff, even though it could be, like, an off-brand of the holy stuff that they use, right? Like, something like that. Like you said, though, it could be because of the meteorite residue. It could also be, though, because, like, they're using, like, Elden Ring and meteorite and, like, various magic stuff involved in that, so it's... like I said, I want to go and think it over more. The rock face could have been from flying FA getting hit by the meteorite, but I don't think it's consistently in that direction either. Yeah, it's definitely not. Also, it wouldn't make sense that these towers alone would be covered in that stuff, right? Yeah, this is making me think it's more so... Yeah, I'm starting to think... Because, again, for all my criticisms of TA, I do think he has some good ideas or interesting theory aspects. Like, I've talked before with his tower. This was one of those with the giant system where I was like, ooh, very interesting. And then you got to the last third, and then it fell off a cliff for me. This, though, I'm starting to think that, you know what? As much as I like that idea from that vid, I hate to say it, but I don't think that's it either. The more I'm looking at this, the more that impact event thing just doesn't make sense. Yeah, the orientations aren't consistent for for either theory here. See, I think these are just supposed to be carved out of rock, and that's like the rock that didn't get carved. You know, kind of like an incomplete sculpture from Michelangelo or something. That would explain some of the rocks, too, if it's a special rock that they were working with. The biggest thing I would see against that, though, is that there are clearly, like, cuts of rock here, as if they were stacking stuff here. So if you want to argue it, maybe it wouldn't be like a meteorite event in the big picture, but maybe like a mini type of event of that sort that happened in the local area. But that's, I don't know, that's maybe a little too hyper-specific. I think you're both wrong. Obviously, the towers fell from the sky as meteorites themselves. Ah, I see. Of course. How could I have ignored such an obvious answer? Also, this area also doesn't get the nighttime proper. Alright, so I think that's it, chat. If there's nothing else I can think of, I think we're gonna call it here. The way some rockets remain on the outside of the towers, but never encroaching inside the tower, feels like the tower was almost made in a flash by magic. Again, I don't know if made in a flash by magic works, because again, these look like stone cuttings that were, like, stacked. Now again, this could be an oversight by the developers. Because, again, I don't know what they modeled the towers on, or their assets on. So I don't know if, like, just snapping and boom, tower appears out of rock, but with magic, is a good explanation either. Definitely something worth ruminating on. Depending on what the Newman could do, maybe the towers did drop on their own Xavier. Yeah, it's true. If we knew the full extent of what the Newman could do, maybe you could make that case. This tower is full of rocks. All right, I think we're gonna end it here, chat. Again, it's been great chatting with you all, talking, going through this type of stuff with you. As always, it helps get my brain juices flowing, even as I am losing brain cells actively as I stream. So I want to thank you all for keeping me company. Again, I'm very sorry that Dark Souls lore play didn't happen today. It was due to extraneous events that I wish I could have controlled better, but I could not. Again, I'm going to try to go at a decent hour now so that I can get up early and we can actually have a proper midday stream for about 4-ish hours of Dark Souls. So we can finish up Seath, Gwendolyn, and maybe a bit of the DLC. Please, Mother of Lord, let me be able to finish that thing. Oh, also, I didn't realize we had these colors here. That's cool. All right. Anyway, wonderful having y'all. Love ya. Deuces!